So I get asked sometimes about the pictures in my intros. So what's the story behind them? Where do they come from and why are they there? Well, let's talk about that. So I do get asked sometimes about the intros, my videos and the pictures in them and what's the story behind them? Where do they come from? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of go through the intro a little bit. I've got two different intros. I've got the confessions intro, which you just saw. My son is actually the one who put that together. And then I also have my Park Tales videos that I have an intro for. And there's a few different pictures in that one. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through the pictures that you get to see really quick and give you the quick story behind them and then kind of go from there. So, what I'm going to do, just to make it a little easier for you to see, is I can pull up the actual video and I'll run it through just a little bit. I'm not going to give you the sound again because, you've already heard the music. And then I'm going to kind of come back out and I'm going to show you the actual pictures from the video, the full ones, so you can see the whole thing and tell you what each one is. So here's the very first part of it. And you can see these quick pictures zipping by there. All right, so I'm going to pause at that one. And here is the actual pictures from it. This is the very first picture that you kind of see sort of on the back of the train conducting. I honestly don't remember who took this picture, but obviously I'm at work and I'm doing the conducting spiel. I'm holding the microphone. So that is the very first picture. It's actually me on the job at Silver Dollar City, which several of these actually are. So I've got that one. The second picture you see is at Rhino Rally with me driving. This is kind of an unusual picture in that really, if I probably could have gotten in trouble for taking this picture. You were not supposed to take pictures backstage in the employee areas at Busch Gardens. I had a little incident where I was having to retrain and drive for a couple days around backstage behind on the service roads and stuff like that. And so knowing I was not going to be doing anything where guests were, and that I had a trainer who was riding with me, who was a friend, it's like, well, let's at least try and make this a little interesting while we're doing this. And so I did bring my camera and he took a few pictures for me, including this one. I've only got, I think, one other picture that's of the back of my head while driving. Otherwise, I really don't have anything in me working at Busch Gardens. So that is one of the few. This is again back to Silver Dollar City. Yes, I am eating. I'm actually eating cookies. Normally, we did have a rule that if somebody gave us homemade stuff or it wasn't pre-wrapped, we wouldn't eat it because we didn't know the people. But we had a regular guest named the Cookie Lady. That's not her real name. But she was there on a regular basis. We got to know her. And when she would ride, she would hand us baggies of homemade cookies. We knew those were good. So that's actually what I'm doing is I'm eating her cookies. And very happy as everybody's pulling out. The next picture there is one of the few I have of me working at Disney. Again, same kind of thing. You're not supposed to bring your cameras. Cell phones were not really a thing at the time. Flip phones were kind of the new rage, and their cameras honestly stank. So what I did do a few times, if I knew I was going to be working at Toontown, where this is, there were a handful of times I brought my little Kodak digital camera, yay big, and I would actually bury it in my pocket, and I would only bring it out in between groups, or rarely, if I saw this thing was just awesome, I would sneak a couple pictures, which I could have been fired for. But this is one slow day. We were paused. We're kind of sitting there twiddling our thumbs. What do we do? I believe it was raining on this day. So this is one of the few times I actually got a picture of me in costume working with some of the characters. So, yeah, I love that picture because you can't get that. And then again, same kind of thing, this time working with Pluto. This particular Pluto was very adept at untying shoes. Yeah, he was awesome. But again, so that's kind of what that is some of the very few pictures I have of me while actually at work at Disney. And then another one robbing. So what you see is just the square with me and the other robber. That other robber is actually my boss. That is Josh. And yes, he very much had a good time harassing me. If you ever hear me talk about being called Nomeo, it's his fault. He is the one who started calling me Nomeo. So that is where that comes. And that was actually before the Nomeo and Juliet movie. That came out, and we're all like, they're stealing my nickname. So, and then this is kind of my ultimate conductor photo. If you look, you can see the ground is wet. So I'm actually wearing my own duster jacket. They did not give that to us. I actually bought that at Dollywood years before, which I'll believe it or not, that's going to come back. But my regular conductor outfit, which I've kind of recreated a little bit. So the hat you see on my desk, this is not my original hat, but it is the same exact style that we would wear. But the coats they gave us were just ugly. So I asked if I could wear my duster while working, and they said, sure, fits in theme. So that's why I got to wear my duster. Love that coat. I do still have it. But yeah, that's kind of my ultimate conducting deal. So jumping back to the video, okay, there's robbing, and you can kind of see those couple others. So here is what those other photos are. This is my actual robbing portrait photo. So if you go into the train station, right to the right, there is actually a wood frame there that it's the wanted for robbing trains, Alfie and Ralphie Boland. And we would put in the pictures of whoever was out robbing the trains that day and, rotate them around. This is my original robbing picture. I actually do have it as a tintype as well. The tintype is what we would put out there, but they did allow us to preview the digital copies. And so I downloaded the digital. Now, if you notice, you don't get to see it in the intro, but watermark. Yeah, the company actually that produced it is not around anymore, so I can't even pay them for the picture. I would love to, but yep, that's how I got it. But yes, you can see the money, and that was my post robber. This was actually, I took this. Goodness, I don't even know if I had actually robbed a train yet for real. This would have been early on. We did replace them a couple years later with some other photos, which I think my other photo was better. But yeah, this is always kind of funny. And then this photo actually has a really neat story to it. So I'm shooting on Main Street. You can see the Main Street costume. And this lady walks up to me and basically says, hey, I'm producing a book about visiting Disney World. And I'm including a chapter in PhotoPass. Can I take your picture to put in the book? And I'm kind of going, because you're not necessarily supposed to do that. She shows me this letter that she has from PR saying that it's okay. Okay, cool. I'll pose. So that's what this is. This is actually a picture that she put in her book in the chapter talking about PhotoPass. And I wish I knew what the name of the book was. I never did get a copy of it. But I did get this. She did take down my name, my email address, and then sent me the copy of the picture. So I do have the photo. But yeah, that is what was in the book. So when you see it, that's what you're actually seeing. Name tag. So again, one of the very few pictures I have of me working there. But yes, flashing the PhotoPass card. Now, see what's really funny about this? You love that glare. You can actually see her flash lighting up my flash. All right. And then the last photo you barely see there is, again, me and Josh. So my manager, this is right before I got to shoot him one of several times that day. They loved getting me as the conductor because they would do everything they could to mess me up. So that's kind of the last photo from that intro. Now, there is actually a second intro, and that is my one for Park Tales. And let me see if I can pull this up here really quick. Okay, so the Park Tales intro goes like this. Remember, this is done by one of my viewers. All right, so that is the Park Tales intro. So here are the pictures from that one. And so the very first one is the very first time we visited Dollywood. This is actually when we bought that duster jacket. And the guy who bought it is actually this one right here. That is what my best friend from college, that is Dave. And Dave and I are still close friends today. Our kids are similar ages. This is actually from the trip when I moved from California to Florida. And we took 2 weeks and we stopped at all these places along the way, including Dollywood. And so that is me, that's Dave, and that is my two kids who are a little bit older now. And on Thunder, bleh, Thunderhead, Thunderation, I'm thinking the other part. But that's what that is. That is the ride photo from Dollywood. Then the next group, you saw three pictures there. So two of them, the one with me and the Mad Hatter, and then also the one with me and Donald. You notice the gold ears. I actually have the gold ears still hiding back there. And if you watch my background video on the backdrop, you'll see those pictures. That is from when I took the Mickey's Magical Milestones tour. I'm not even sure if they offer it anymore, but that is where the ears come from. And I wore them the rest of the day and got the pictures. And yes, they're not very comfortable, but hey, they were gold ears. It was cool. So that is those. And then the other picture, this is again me and my kids. This is one that we weren't sure the filters were going well. So all of the pictures are taken. They go through a quality assurance process. And this was one because we were messing around. We're kind of like, I don't know if they're going to get it approved. So I actually, after we did it, I ran inside, got it printed, which is why you see Tinkerbell floating there, by a friend of mine. And that's why I have this, because by the time I got the digital copies, it was gone. I am guessing probably something about safety or something like that. And they didn't know it was me. But yes, that's me goofing off with the kids when they were little, having a good time. And you can see my son is actually laughing hysterically there while the daughter's making a great terrified face. We had fun doing crazy pictures. We did a lot of goofy pictures. Then there's this one. This is when they're even younger. This is actually Six Flags Magic Mountain. Goodness. This would have been around 2000 or so, 2001, I think. And yes, I am riding on the kiddie ride with my son and daughter driving. So that's a little bit younger then. Oh, I wouldn't mind going back to that. And then the last picture is actually here in Branson. This is the Runaway Mountain Coaster. It's the first alpine coaster that was built in Branson. And we were out there shortly after they finished it. And that is my on-ride photo. And you can actually tell I am getting some airtime because look at my leg. It has popped up in the air. And hey, there's the camera. Let's make a funny face. So absolutely loved it. I still think it's the best alpine coaster in Branson, although I haven't been on the one Shepherd of the Hills yet. So that is the background pictures, the full-sized ones, so that way you can kind of see them and a little bit of the background story there. Did I miss something? Was there something else you'd like to know? Anything else you're curious about? Let me know. I love to hear it. I hope that you found this kind of fun and enjoyable and a little bit different. So let me know if you have questions. And a huge thank you to everybody who helped make these possible. Friends, family, tours, and all sorts of crazy stuff. So appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you found this interesting. Let me know. Thanks so much. God bless. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.